Just a huge shout out to Dr. Mark. Thank you so much for putting this together. I love being around you guys, like so motivational. Like it just really like gets me going, and especially now to be around these young, beautiful ladies who are like, you guys are totally in the thick of it, which is, I'm really excited to hear what's going on with you and where you're hoping to go and what you want to do, and I will be your fan. Yeah, so thank you, Dr. Mark, for getting us together. I'd love to meet up with you guys again sometime soon and hear what's going on. I'll tell you a little bit about myself, and then maybe if you guys have any questions, I'd love to answer. My name is Anna Cummins. I grew up in Bellevue. I did all the sports that my older brother Eric did, and we did cross country, basketball, and track. And so I was a 12-letter winner in high school when people still did like multiple sports and you didn't have to specialize in high school at Newport High School, so just down the road. And then I went to the University of Washington, and my big sport was running. And my sister-in-law ran for Greg Metcalf at UW. My brother was at UW running for Metcalf, and they have a great team. And I went and visited with the team when I was in high school and was like, I totally want to do this. This was my dream. But I'm 6 feet tall and was weighing like 175 pounds, and I was a miler, and he wasn't exactly super interested because I was a little bit big to be a miler. So there was a guy who heard from the University of Washington rowing team that they look for tall, uncoordinated women who don't do other sports great. Like they want the team captain, they want you got to be good, but like not great. Like I wasn't going to go play basketball at UW. I wasn't going to run at UW. I could have run at UW, but they're like, it's the perfect transition to take a tall woman and then put her into rowing. And of course, when you told me about the opportunity, I'm sure you guys are like this too. Like if somebody told you you're not going to play football, you're like, I'm not leaving football. I'm like good at football. Like why would I not do this? Like I'm really good at this. And so I was like, okay, thank you. Like nice. Like maybe I'll pick up rowing, sure, one day. But of course, then I get to the university or picking a school, and it's like, okay, I'm not really getting letters to go play basketball or to run like I thought that I would. So I got the letter to come visit the team and see what rowing would be like. So I go and I visit the rowing team at the University of Washington. I drive and it's early. Like they practice in the morning, and I was like, oh no. But I get there super early, and it is this beautiful day. There's like eagles flying overhead as they take the boats out. But the thing that I noticed the most was that all of the women looked just like me. Like my cross country team, like everybody's like this big. And then there was like, tall, huge Anna running. So I thought that I was, 5'4" and 100 pounds. So I visited with the team, and I was like, I think these are my people, because they would finish rowing. First of all, they were all just tall, beautiful, and felt so strong and confident in their own skin. And then after practice, we went up to the hub to go eat breakfast, and I got my cross country food, like my bagel, my cream cheese, and I'm like, oh, I'm good, and they were like, that's it? That's all you're gonna eat? And I was like, oh my gosh, who are you people? That is awesome. So we did I was like, okay, I could eat with these people. I could actually get bigger rather than have to get smaller. Like this is really enticing to me. And then on the cover of the media guide that they recruit you with, because they used to pass out magazines and such, it wasn't like websites and the like, were these very attractive men on the men's team that all share the same boathouse. And I was like, I could try this sport. But of course, I'm sure like a lot of you guys, when we get connected to our sport, it becomes like a lot of our identity. So I was a really good runner. Like went to state, was captain of the teams, cross country and track, and captain the basketball team. So leaving something that I was really good at was a really big kind of risk for me. Like why would I leave something that I'm good at and that gives me all these wonderful feelings and people think that I'm great because of it? Like why would I leave that to try something that you could be good or you could be totally awful? So I had a discipleship leader when I was in high school that I had met with all since freshman year, and so we prayed a lot about it, and I really just gave it up to the Lord. Like, okay, I'm going to try this for a year. Like I'm going to give this a try. The coach said, I think you could do this and I think you'd be great. And as women, having someone say that they want you and that they think you're going to do good, I think goes such a long way. And that's something we can pass on to other women. It's like telling them that they're wanted and that you support them, whether they're going to fail or not. It just makes it be like, okay, I'll try that if someone will pour into us that way. So I gave it a shot, and within my first couple months was like, you know, the rowing machines at the gym. So we train on those. They're awful, but that's what we test on. And so within the first couple months, I had the fastest rowing erg score in the country for a freshman. And then that score got me into train for the U.S. national team that following summer. So, and then of course the University of Washington is just this powerhouse. So you come in and you're just surrounded by the best people in the whole country, and then you just rise to the occasion. So I did not know how to row, and they taught me how to row. And with our first NCAAs that we went to, I was in the varsity 4 with the other freshman women, and we won an NCAA title. And I had just learned how to row less than a year earlier. So that says so much, the program and the other women that I was around, that we would just go flying up like that. So those are my favorite parts of my story. That, and later I got to marry the stroke of the guy on my media guide, so that's my husband. So it really all worked out. I mean, we're mostly women here in this room, and that really is enticing. I mean, God was so good.
So she can get adjustments every day.
Yeah. So I went on to row for the U.S. national team. I think I was on the team for 6 years or what have you. I did the 2004 Olympic cycle and then the 2008 Olympic cycle. In 2004, we won the silver medal in Athens, Greece, and that was the first medal the women had had since 1984. So that was really cool because they'd gotten close and done it all, like it just hadn't worked out. And then, we won silver, which was actually, I was happy to get the silver. I mean, you're never really happy to get the silver, but because we had beaten Romania in the heat and broke a world record in the heat, and then they beat us in the final. So I was, it's like, but that next 4 years then trying to get just, we didn't have to get a lot faster. We just needed to be a little bit faster. So I used 4 years for 2008, and then we won the gold in Beijing. And then the team has continued on and won gold ever since. So, it was just, I think, the Sports Illustrated article was like that the team has had, rotating women, like 50 women in this women's 8. That was my event. All these different women have gone through, and they just keep winning and winning. The coaches are phenomenal. Rebuilding right now, but the streak is over. But just awesome. So yeah, I married Dr. Bob Cummins, who is friends with Dr. Weber. That's how we kind of reconnected. Yeah. And Dr. Weber came and adjusted the team that trained in Seattle. I was home working at UW and training in Seattle for a bit, in between living in Princeton and San Diego. That's where the rowers live.
Does he train like Seahawks players and stuff? Dr. Bob?
No, not really. Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
I was going to say my brother is like obsessed with your husband.
Okay. Hey, we're married. No, I'm just kidding. It's totally good. So, but what I wanted to share about, thanks.
The videographer wants you to.
Put them on so we can look good. What was really cool about meeting my husband was that, I'd already won a silver medal and, been under chiropractic care and done a lot of things for myself to really be at my best. But what was cool is that when I met my husband, he had just finished chiropractic school, and he was really teaching me a lot about making that difference from silver to gold. Like, what are those little things that we all know that we should do to be a better athlete, but you're like, okay, I'll do that later, or this is kind of good. I'm eating well, I'm doing these different things well. But working with him, I made a huge shift. So my last year, my 10th year of rowing, I got all my best scores. I was the most fit I had ever been. I raced in 2 events at the Olympics. I did the pair and the 8. I was just at my very best, and I really do attribute that to our relationship. And usually when you meet a guy, your performance kind of, because you're distracted. We got married like 6 months before the Olympics. Everything points to kind of like you would be distracted and this wouldn't go well. But he was just such a rock and a support in helping me get better from there, working on those little things of taking care of our bodies and our structure, which we all know about, whether we're, doing a crisis injury or some repetitive stress thing. And then as well as, so we got that neurology piece, but then the nutrition portion, I stopped eating as much calories in brownies as I did, and would get some of those calories now from like steak and, you know, like real food instead of just like I carbo load all the time. And so my body fat just went way down, and but my strength went way up. It was just a really cool transformation. And then endurance is a rowing thing, and then strength, we were working hard with our lifting, and yeah, so just kind of putting all of those pieces together was a really big thing. So wherever you are in your training, just keep looking at increasing, you know, eat well, think well, move well, endurance, strength, structure, like what pieces could you probably get a lot of bang for your buck if you put a focus on. And for me, a lot of that was the nutritional piece, so I got a lot stronger after that. So we now have 4 girls. The competitor in me says, I had 4 kids in 6 years, you know? Like, so my kids are 5, 4, 3, and 5-month-old, home with,
She just had a baby
yeah.
5 months ago. Does she look
Yeah.
like she had a baby?
Yeah, I do, because look, I got my back brace on because it like, like, I'm a mess, ladies. Like, the injuries that you have now that you're doing with sport, they're going to be with you forever. Like, just so you know, like you can do a lot of stuff, you know, 60, 70, 80 years, you know, be 90 years old and running track or whatever it's going to be that'll bring you that great joy. But those things that you're struggling with now, they don't ever really go away. So I have degenerative disc disease and like no L5, and just, yeah, basically after this last baby, had like sciatica going down my leg. That's why God gave me a chiropractor as a husband to take care of me for the rest of my life. So yeah, if you're not married yet, you can really be looking for some guy like right out of school to take care of you so you can keep playing and having fun. Yeah. So yeah. Oh. Move apart so we look better. That's good. Yeah. So anyway, so that's a little bit of my story, and I just am excited to hear about you guys and what you're up to next, and just know that it just gets better. And the things that I learned from rowing and pushing myself, I totally applied during like giving birth to my children, or like the mental capacity of trying to work in a team, applying that to your marriage, and like how to work things out, and like you're in it, like, and you are going to make it work. And so what is the greater goal? And you can apply that to work, you can apply it to school, you can apply it to marriage, and just it's just going to give you so much strength and joy. So it'll just continue, especially for you young ladies, which is exciting for us to watch. But you look good. You don't look like you're older. Yeah. So anyway, Leslie.
All right. Well, thanks, Anna.